what I came up
question,
with.
if you
Tucker
would.
Carlson falsehoods.
Okay.
And I can sit here and I can read them to you one at a time.
I appreciate it. All
and
right.
we can talk about what you have to say.
That's pretty good. Let me... Karen wrote this. Barbara Boxer saying politics is a noble profession. That may have been ironic. Paul McCurley. That's one way to put it.
I'm not taking it anyway.
No, I know you're not. Who spent more on social media, Hillary or Trump?
I'm sure. And with Hillary Clinton stronger together, no one really knows what that meant. And you saw even in the Podesta leaks that people were saying that. It would be a fantastic
motto for a glue company, wouldn't it? Elmer's Glue.
Could the glue be president?
No, it's a bizarre.
Well, yeah, but there was a great piece.
Which I loved. But I mean, he could destroy
no big
the
deal
world.
for you. I know you like to carry water for the liar in chief. I know you like to, but I don't think this is a joke. This is for humanity, and he is dangerous.
But when you...
And we are back. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend. Tucker Carlson, the most hated man on TV, and everyone is coming after him now. I got video clips to prove it. You guys aren't going to want to miss this, so stick around. Before we jump into it, if you have not subscribed to the greatest community on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button down below. Listen, if you like my video, leave me a thumbs up. I think the engagement, I've heard it helps with the YouTube algorithm to get the video out there. So definitely leave a thumbs up if you like the video, and leave me a comment. You guys know my favorite thing about this community, this channel, doing these videos is the comments. So let me know what you guys think in the comment. Let's jump right into this. Tucker Carlson. All right. Full transparency here. I'm a fan of Tucker Carlson for a few reasons. The first clip you guys saw, this guy, the way he laughs cracks me up every time. And usually he laughs, as you could see, at the most inappropriate times, breaks out in this hysterical laughter, and it's contagious when he does it. I start laughing. It's all right. Number two, and just coming from a common sense and logical perspective, I feel like for the most part, he's being honest, telling the truth. Of course, he's got biases. Of course, he's got his own opinions that he puts on his show. But I think for the most part, he tells the truth and does a good job of informing his viewers and his listeners. Now, a ton of his attacks. Now, I'm going to show you. He gets attacked. Everyone from Dr. Fauci to U.S. military member to former President Clinton's daughter, Chelsea Clinton, to, of course, no surprise, CNN's Don Lemonhead and Mr. Potato Head Bri Stelter. So that's not a shocker. But for the most part, I feel like Tucker is giving facts, being honest, and not spreading all this disinformation. And listen, when he does, I've seen him, he'll retract and he'll apologize when he gets the facts wrong. So that's my opinion on, like I said, just looking at it from a logical, common sense perspective. That's what I gather. I don't think he's this racist, white, like everybody. I'm just not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. But then again, these people call everyone that's not on the left the same names. So Don Lemonhead and Mr. Potato Head over, Bri Stelter over at CNN, they claim Tucker Carlson spreads misinformation, spreads propaganda, fake news. Real quick before we jump into these video clips, in case you guys didn't see, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas just busted a CNN employee admitting, in a hidden camera, admitting that CNN is propaganda and spreads fake news. Right here, Charlie Chester was the guy's name, CNN technical director. Now, James O'Keefe has been banned from Twitter for breaking this story. There was a bunch of different ones. This guy talked about BLM. He talked about how CNN was responsible for getting Trump out of there. He talked about the whole illness, the whole, the OKeefe, and how they're using fear to get views and to keep their viewers glued on the TV. So it says we were creating a story that we didn't know anything about. This guy Charlie Chester. I mean, James O'Keefe just blew CNN right out the water. So we have Don Lemonhead and Bri Stelter telling everybody that Fox News is exactly what CNN is. So I'm going to lean towards Tucker Carlson for my information other than anyone on CNN after this story broke. Not like I watched CNN in the first place. All right, so let's jump into some video clips here just to show you guys the barrage of nonsense that is being thrown at Tucker Carlson. And you gotta start asking yourself, why are they doing this? It's pretty obvious. The things that he's saying are the truth. Bottom line, it's the truth. And people that are making up propaganda and spewing nonsense, lies, misinformation, they don't want the truth out there. So this first clip here is my attempt at a Mark Dice impression of Bri Stelter. So we're going to start off a few clips here of Bri Stelter. And don't worry, I'm going to give you Mark Dice, the king himself, of Bri Stelter impressions. I got nothing on him, and then we're going to go to Don Lemonhead. Then we're going to check out the military member I was talking about, so on and so forth. So check this out. All right, are you ready for it? Here's my conclusion. Tucker Carlson is the new Donald Trump. I know I got nothing on Mark Dice. Okay, so here is Mark Dice doing the best Bri Stelter impersonation I've ever heard, and here he is attacking Tucker Carlson once again.
So many millions are being seduced and being deceived by an alternative reality. Trump is not really the leader of this anymore. Tucker Carlson is. From downplaying the pro-Trump riot of January 6th to mainstreaming a white supremacist conspiracy theory. And I know, Tucker's been here before. Remember that time he said white was a hoax? But his comments this week, on Thursday, were another new low, as he identified the so-called white replacement theory by name. This is something that's fringe, often on racist websites, but he played it out for his viewers to hear. And it's been played a lot. I know the Fox segment has been played repeatedly, so I'm not going to air it here. But Tucker knew exactly what he was doing. Look at the quote. He even predicted that people would be disturbed by his argument, which made him all the more delighted to make the argument anyway.
I told you I had nothing on Mark Dice. All right, and here's another really weird clip of little Bri Bri Stelter talking about the shot, the illness shot, selfies. It's really weird. Attacking Tucker and Fox News.
And, I think it's really important to see all these TV anchors, personalities showing themselves getting the shot. We've seen a lot of vaccine selfies from lots of folks at lots of different networks. It's been really inspiring to see. The Today Show even brought the co-hosts outside for a live group vaccination this week. And Rachel Maddow on Friday on MSNBC talked about how she was really fearful of the needle, really worried about it. And yet it was important to get the shot, and she did, and there she is talking about it on air. So, I say all of that to make the following point. Where are Tucker and Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham? Where is Ainsley Earhardt and Steve Doocy and Brian Kilmeade? Where are the biggest stars on Fox getting vaccinated?
Really, really bizarre. Like, why? That's what he's worried about? That's what Bri Stelter's worried about. Wow, what a sad. Ugh. Now, with little Bri Bri Stelter, you're probably starting to see a pattern here. Yes, this guy obsesses over Tucker Carlson on Fox News. Check this out.
With me for an exclusive interview is Jonathan Greenblatt. He's the CEO and National Director of the Anti-Defamation League. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
You penned a letter to Fox News Media CEO Suzanne Scott on Friday saying Carlson's been race baiting for years and it's time for him to go. Have you heard back from Fox yet? What has Fox said back to you since Friday?
So that's the focus of CNN. Little Bri Bri Stelter's Reliable Sources show. That's what his show's called, Reliable Sources. The biggest joke. Unreliable sources is absolutely what it is. So that's his focus right now, is talking to the head of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, about how they're trying to get rid of Tucker Carlson. What an absolute joke. So we'll carry on with this story.
We want Fox to do, first and foremost, Tucker has got to go. Let's acknowledge Fox isn't alone in this. They have advertisers. They have affiliates, right? There are cable companies who carry their signal. If Fox won't act, it may be time for the advertisers to act. It may be time for, again, the affiliates and the cable companies to act, to finally, once and for all, say that America is, simply put, no place for hate. Why is this even a debate anymore, Brian?
Tucker just says, I'm talking about voting rights. And then the Murdochs will say, we don't cancel people. They'll say, you're trying to engage in cancel culture. That's what I can actually hear them in my ears, because that's exactly what they would say.
I'm surprised Bri Stelter can hear them in his ears with all the potato stuffed inside his Mr. Potato Head. All right, so we're going to carry on with this clip a little longer because it's just unbelievable how absolutely obsessed these guys are with getting Tucker Carlson off the air. And this guy, Greenblatt, even talks about the First Amendment, then goes on to talk about how he wants to get rid of Tucker because he doesn't like what he's saying. I can almost hear it with my own ears.
My worry is always my elderly neighbor who is watching Fox morning, noon, and night, who's a great gentleman. But, you know, you think about what millions of people are hearing without realizing that it comes from white nationalist, white supremacist texts, right? Because they're hearing their friends say it. Tucker is their friend. They trust him. They love him.
Right.
And that's where this is scary. That's where this is dangerous. But I'm at the point now where I think the Murdochs have given up on it. They think Tucker's in charge. You know, someone needs to remind the Murdochs, they pay Tucker. Tucker's their employee. They're allowed to sanction him. They're allowed to, give him some guidance. But it doesn't seem to ever happen. There's a lack of leadership that is emphasized by the fact that Lachlan Murdoch is basically living in Sydney, Australia now.
What a sad, pathetic little man, Bri Stelter. I would love for Bri Stelter to see this and just watch what a sad, pathetic little human being he is. So sad. Now, I'm sure you guys remember not too long ago, there was a big controversy with Tucker because he was talking about women in the military, and there's just all kinds of stuff with the military, and Tucker was just asking questions like he usually does, and oh boy, the Pentagon, these DOJ, Department of Justice, military leaders, they all got right fired up.
Drama TV. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I call it. I'll apologize up front and tell you that I don't have cable news at home. I don't have it here in the office, and I don't watch a lot of drama TV. I understand some comments were made yesterday, and I watched the clip that Mr. Carlson produced as he referred to pregnant women in the military. I'll remind everyone that his opinion, which he has a right to, is based off of actually 0 days of service in the armed forces.
Okay, so they were coming after Tucker pretty hard for that, and it was ridiculous. Nothing that he said in the statements that he was saying about the military were out of line, were false, in my opinion. None of it was out of line, was false statements. And apparently military, I don't know what's going on with our military. It seems a lot different than it used to be. Okay, this clip's Don Lemonhead of CNN talking about how Tucker is spreading misinformation, spreading conspiracy theories. Now remember, the guy that worked at CNN, Charlie Chester, whatever his name is, Charlie, specifically said CNN spreads propaganda.
It's just the...
Sorry, Mark Dice wanted to interrupt there for a minute. Okay, if you don't know Mark Dice, go subscribe to his channel. He's absolutely hysterical.
We've got to talk about what is happening over on the propaganda network, the Fox propaganda network. And I don't really concern myself with what the other guys are doing. But let me tell you why I'm doing this. Because this is the mainstreaming of white propaganda to your neighbors and your family members. And it's coming from Tucker Carlson, who is promoting the so-called replacement theory. Theory is really too good a word for it. It's a lie is what it is.
All right. So basically he's saying Tucker Carlson's just lying. Listen, anything that I've watched from CNN, now keep in mind these guys spread the 2016 collusion. I got to watch what I say here, but 2016 collusion with the guys overseas with Trump that can turn out to be a complete hoax. These guys were the ones that peddled it, and they're still peddling it. It's so hard to believe that these guys are actually consider themselves a news source and tell their viewers that other news sources are lying, conspiracies, spreading misinformation, fake news. It blows my mind. All right, so now Dr. Fauci took a shot at Tucker as well.
No reason for people who have contact, so maybe it doesn't work, and they're simply not telling you that. Let me repeat that again. So maybe it doesn't work, and they're simply not telling you that. What do you have to say to Tucker Carlson?
Yeah. That's just a typical crazy conspiracy theory. Why would we not tell people if it doesn't work? Look at the data. The data are overwhelming.
Yeah, so Fauci's calling Tucker a crazy conspiracy theorist. Okay, all right. So last but not least, we have former President Clinton's daughter, Chelsea Clinton, calling on Facebook to ban Tucker Carlson. She's saying something about he's an anti-vax or and he's never said anything. He specifically said, we here at Fox, we love vaccines. We're for vaccines. We just have some questions. And he laid it out perfectly, logical, common sense. And listen, the only reason Don Lemonhead, Mr. Potato Head, Bri Bri Stelter, Fauci, these guys in the military, Chelsea Clinton, all these other people want to get rid of Tucker. It's just crystal clear. What he's saying scares them. Not because it's false, not because it's propaganda, not because it's misleading, fake news, misinformation. It scares them possibly because it's the truth. You decide. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking me out today. I just had to make this video. I could not believe all these people are going after Tucker Carlson. When I watch Tucker on a daily basis. Well, as much as possible. Just to kind of see what's going on. To hear if any of the things they're saying about him, misinformation, fake news, propaganda, conspiracy theories. I just listen to see if any of that's true. And maybe every once in a while he'll say something that's kind of, but for the most part, I tend to agree with everything this guy says for the most part, So, I don't know. You guys decide. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Obviously, if there's someone that goes against the political narrative and has no problem speaking up loudly, and that's got a huge platform like Tucker, he's going to cause problems. They're going to want to shut him down. That's really the logical explanation here. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Leave me a thumbs up if you like the video. And like I said, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Join the greatest community on the YouTubes. You guys, the world's gone crazy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time. Peace.